Hey everyone, welcome to another Illustrator CS6 tutorial. My name is Buddy, and today we're gonna start understanding the layers panel. And the layers panel is one of the most important panels in Illustrator because it helps you organize your project and you can get a good overview of what is actually going on in your project by using the layers panel. So the layers panel is over here on the right, and it's going to have these two squares stacked up on top of each other. If you don't see that, go to Window and go to Layers and click on it. Now, the first thing that we're going to do, let's create some objects so we can have a few layers. So I'll just create some squares, and I'll create some ellipses. Now, if we look at the layers, I created everything under one layer, even though I made a bunch of different objects. Now, the thing that you'll have to do is you'll have to end up creating new layers. And the way you do that is by this button down here. It says create a new layer. So this layer that I just created contains a bunch of different objects. Now I can put things on this layer that I have now if I select it. Let me put on some polygons. Now this layer contains a few different options, or a few different things. So it's good. It's a good way to organize. Now, if I wanted to be really organized, I'd want to probably put all the rectangles on one layer, all the ellipses on one layer. So let me do that. You can do this by clicking and dragging onto other layers. If you click on these triangles, it'll expand or lower the layer. So let me go over a couple of things that you might see in the layers panel. The first thing is on the left are these eyeballs, and this is going to show and hide your layers. If you just click on them, that's all you got to do. And then up here to the right is the layers option, where you can have a bunch of different options. I'll go over those later. Let me go back to my selection tool so I don't have to keep on doing that. To the right, you've got the circle. This is the target, and you click on that, and you use it to apply and edit appearances. To the right is the selection square. So if I go ahead and select something with the target, it's going to appear with the selected, and you can see here. And it gets selected by the color that your layers are assigned to. So you can see the bounding box is also the same color, and now the paths are. It helps distinguish things and so you can see what's going on. So now everything's the same. Now, when you have a layer and then it has a couple things underneath it, those are called sublayers. So this layer has 4 sublayers to it. They're also called nested layers. Some people will call it that. Now there's a section here that looks like it's empty, but if you click, you'll get a locks icon. And this locks and unlocks layers. And when you lock a layer, you're not able to do anything to it. What else we got here? We've got this trash can icon here. So if I click a layer, the trash can icon here will allow you to delete your selection. So if I click that and hit OK, it's going to delete everything. I'm going to hit Control Z to bring it back up. The next one is the new layer button. This one here is a new sublayer button. So if I click on this and I create a new sublayer, now I've got a new sublayer within the layer, and I can add something like text onto it or something like that. And then within that, I can have more objects. We've got a create clipping mask, make and release clipping mask button. And if you haven't learned about clipping masks yet, I just made a tutorial right before this about clipping masks. When you have a layer selected, you'll see this triangle up in the top right, and that's your current layer that you have. So then you know which one you have selected. And when you have a layer that is on top, such as these layers here, the first ones, these are called top level layers. So this is a top level layer, like the one I have selected, any of these 3, and then you go into it, and then here's your sub layer. So that's just some terminology for you. Now let's go ahead and make some things in a group. So I'm going to group up these rectangles. And now you can see that there's a group now. And it says group on here, and sometimes you can name them and stuff. And the group contains paths in it or other artwork. To the right is, or down here, there's a magnifying glass, and that's the locate object button, and that's new in CS6, and you click it to locate a selected object in your document in the layers panel. So if let me close these up. If I click on this square right here, and I click on locate object, it's going to show you in the layers panel where it was. Don't think that you can go into your layers panel and then click on like this path and then hit locate object. It won't show it to you in here. It's only for selecting layer or objects on your artboard and finding them in the layers panel. It makes it easy once you get a ton of layers, because some of these things that you're going to be working on are probably going to have 100 layers or more. When you get into like big projects, you get like little pieces and stuff going in your groups and all that stuff. So now you got an overview and an understanding of the layers panel, and we can move on in the next couple tutorials on how to mess with the layers panel more and use it to your advantage so you can work more efficiently. So give the video a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe if you are looking to see more Illustrator tutorials or even any other tutorials that we're going to be posting on here. So thanks a lot for watching, everybody. See you later.